Central America, home of the ancient Maya, Belize, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador and Honduras, through 5 nations over 3 weeks, covering 2,000 kilometers. 20 teams volunteered to endure Camel Trophy Mundo Maya 95. This year, the mud and water literally swamped the vehicles as competitors towed and dug each other's Land Rover Discoveries out of the mud. David de Keyser continues.
The convoy is heading for the frontier between Belize and Mexico, the second of the 5 nations on the mammoth circumnavigation of the Mayan world. Never before has Camel Trophy crossed so many borders. Only one track leads out of the jungle. If it had rained, the mud would have been impassable. If there had been mud, Camel Trophy Mundo Maya might have spent 2 weeks on the same track. Small pits of black mud sent a few wheels spinning, but the train kept on rolling. By nightfall, the teams have an appointment with Lake Petanitza, last stronghold of the Maya. On the banks of the lake, the teams make the best camp of the expedition. Normally, on Camel Trophy, the convoy runs as a whole, often up to 3 kilometers long, each car looking out for the next. In Guatemala, that all changes. Spread out like pathfinders discovering a new land, the teams unfurl Guatemala for themselves. 750 kilometers separate the Petén and the Guatemalan border with El Salvador, where the convoy has plans to regroup. 750 kilometers in 2 days. Sleep is kept short. Up over the mountains of western Guatemala, where some of the world's best coffee is grown, the teams see the country, warts and all. At the river Ostua, where Guatemala and El Salvador meet, the teams safely came together again. The Belgians had come close to crashing, but everyone else was safe. The dream of a final week waist-deep in mud looked to be coming true. But the reality of life on the road was a little more down to earth. A herd of cattle brought the convoy to a standstill. The rains swelled the rivers on the border between El Salvador, Guatemala and Honduras, turning stream into torrent. Under the surface, huge boulders littered the riverbed. One wrong turn and a Discovery could be left floundering in midstream. One at a time, following precisely in each other's wheel tracks, the convoy inched its way across the river. A railway bridge marks the border between Honduras and Guatemala. Its wooden deck is broken and is only a few inches wider than the vehicles. The bridge is an impressive structure, but nothing compared with the rock roadway the Spanish explorer Cortés built through Central America. The convoy is the first motorized expedition to follow Cortés' route from Honduras into Guatemala. The locals take bets that it won't succeed. Gangs of team members gnaw away at the undergrowth and the deep ruts on Spanish Road, gradually clearing away along the historic trail. It takes an hour to edge forward 1 kilometer. Every hole has to be filled, every dead tree moved clear. The goal is to be free of the jungle by dusk. The team step up a gear. One rut is too deep to fill, too wide to bridge. The Israeli car is its first victim. Even with the trail cleared, the jungle swallows cars and their drivers whole. Every lesson in four-wheel driving, every hour spent training for Camel Trophy, finally pays off. The teams are being pushed to their limits, the discoveries to theirs. The odds for getting through are looking good.
This is true Camel Trophy stuff, absolutely. We've had a really tough day today, doing quite a lot of driving through really tight mountain tracks. At first the going was pretty easy, just very delicate driving, very soft touch driving. We've come through a path now that apparently was used by the conquistadors a couple of 100 years ago or something like this, and it hasn't been used since. So through erosion and trees falling down and just the natural process, this track has been absolute hell today. We've cleared it as best we can. It's still a very testing track though for the vehicles coming through. A lot of vehicles have been damaged, but it's really gratifying work. It's really getting stuck into it and it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
450 years after Cortez, the modern adventurers escape from Spanish trap. For a day, they have been caught in its grip. The reward is Lake Izabal, where the fishermen had bet against seeing the convoy. To them, the impossible had just been achieved. Guatemala seems never-ending, up the entire length of its long eastern borders, where roads are rare and where bandits roam. The convoy has 500 miles of motoring before crossing back to Belize. On their own again for 2 days, the teams make a break for Belize. The road north takes the teams back into the Petén. Deep in the jungle, just into Belize, the tracks turn to Maya. In 3 weeks on the road, the teams have almost forgotten the living hell of the special tasks back at Lamanai. The highs and the lows of life on the road erase the memories of the competition. In a task not unlike one at Lamanai, the Germans get to bend a few more panels on their Land Rover Discovery. The race at the top of the leaderboard is now between the South Africans, the Greeks, the Poles, and the Camel Trophy newcomers, the Czech Republic. All overs and Antonich, the tasks continue. The finale is a battle of brawn. Only the strongest team will win. For the 4 countries still in with a chance of clinching the Special Task Award, being on the winning side is crucial. As chance would have it, 2 are on one team and 2 on the other. The first group have no trouble heaving their Discovery over the rapids. The others are caught on a rock. Victory is floating away. Finally, the second vehicle springs free, only to get caught up with the first, which has sunk in 10 feet of water. In an extraordinary show of team spirit, all the teams join together to free the first car. It looks like a fish tank and now weighs over 4 tons. Every man and woman is needed to shift it. The leading team get their Discovery to within inches of the finish line and leave it there, instead rushing back to help the other group dislodge their stricken Discovery. It's a dead heat. Both teams score equal points.
We're glad it's all over, but it's been tough. But on the other hand, it's a shame it's all over because we're all going to be going back to our own countries. I don't know if we'll be seeing any more of us, of each other's. And I don't know, it's sad in a way that it's all over.
The winners of the Camel Trophy Mundamaya 1995 is the team from the Czech Republic.
That really is an amazing double for the Czech Republic. That is their first time on the event. They've come straight in and they are overall winners. Zdeněk Němec, Marek Machadel.